Welcome to Changing Mindsets with Louise Namara. Today, I want to talk about us facing and solving our problems as Uganda and as Africa. Now, when we look around our countries as Africa, there's so many things that we see that we do not like. The corruption, the injustice, the pollution, the unemployment, the way systems are being run generally. And because of this, many have run away to different countries, and even some have gotten citizenship. Before I go ahead, let me tell you one thing. You cannot change who you are. You cannot change who you are by just signing some documents and then getting citizenship in another country. If you're an African, you are an African. A human being living in a chicken house doesn't make him a chicken. He is still a human being. So instead of us running away looking for greener pastures or better places to live, why don't we face our problems and solve them? And by the way, hiring the Chinese man or the Westerner does not solve the problem. It instead worsens the problem. Look at the Chinese debts that we have as Africans. Look at how the Westerners are exploiting our resources. The only people that can solve African problems are the Africans. Well, someone may say that the problems are way too big. Let me tell you something. These problems started small and then they grew big. Even solving these problems, it is okay to start small. There are many organizations and ideas that started small, but right now they are big. I'll give you an example. There's a book club called So Many Stories. A lady had an idea of developing the reading culture of children, and so she spread out her idea. And parents responded and they kept bringing their kids. And she began with one chapter, and then two, and then three. And there's so many book clubs around, both for children and even adults. It's because someone began with a small idea and then it became big because they persisted and they were consistent. I mean, look at health living. Someone had an idea of we need to live healthy. And they spread the idea, and now many people in this generation are so concerned about the way they live. What about the reusable pads? What about businesses? They all start small, but because someone persisted, then that business grew big. It's the same thing. Yes, the problems we are facing in Africa or in Uganda may seem to be big, but if we are persistent, if we are resilient, we can make it. And one thing that is very important for us to have is the will. A gentleman called Walter D. Wintour wrote a poem saying, "If you think you're beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, it's almost a cinch you won't. If you think you lose, you're lost. For out in the world, you'll find success begins with a fellow's will. If it's all, it, it's all in the state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. It all starts in the mind. You have to have the will and you have to be optimistic that you can actually solve the problems in your countries. In other words, the ball is in our hands. We can solve our problems. We need to be optimistic and we need to be resilient and we need to be persistent. So I call upon every African out there. Instead of us running away to other continents, looking for comfortable places, let us solve our problems here as Africa. I believe everyone in Africa can solve a problem. If you see a challenge, just develop an idea and make sure the will to solve that problem grows. There is nothing that is impossible. And I believe that with time, we'll begin to see our countries develop. We'll begin to see Africa actually develop because we had the will to change our continent, Africa. Thank you so much.